We hate to say we told you so, but honestly, folks, we didn't tell you so because you already know so. It's the legacy media who have not been paying any attention to this. What am I talking about? Well, it's the miss that Disney has right now as they listed out a price they were going to buy Hulu for, and that helped them sail through a bunch of investor votes and calls and earnings and all of that. Well, guess what? It's way higher. It's going to be hugely higher. Billions more. We called it, we told it to you, you knew it, they knew it, now they know we know it, and everybody's scrambling to catch up. Hello folks, welcome back to the Pro Channel where we dive deep into entertainment and expose the lies of the industry at large. Today we're talking about Hulu, the platform that Disney bought, apparently to cannibalize the sucker, and they're going to pay way more than they should, making them the sucker. How so? Well, Comcast knows that Disney is likely to pay far in excess of that $8 billion they said they'd be buying it for. Now, folks, we're looking at something rising up to the skies, closer to $20 billion perhaps, that Disney might be on the hook to pay out to Comcast. Good Lord! Do they have the money? Can they even afford it? Today we'll talk about it. And folks, there's a little bit of a victory lap here. It is earned, though, because when all of the mainstream legacy financial papers out there were just parroting the Disney line, we didn't. And guess what? Yet again, a track record of excellence. This confirms what we've been saying for so long about Disney and that farce of an amount of money that they were claiming they were going to have to spend on Hulu. Folks, Comcast ain't no fool. And Bob Iger's been down this journey before, not a journey of water, but a journey of being hosed on deals. This is by Luke Buma. It comes from Cord Cutters News, and it says Comcast and Disney may end up in court as they continue to fight over Hulu. Disney gonna pay some money. Late last year, Disney and Comcast closed a deal that would give Disney full control over Hulu. The problem is that the final price has yet not been agreed upon, and the two sides are looking for more help to settle the matter. Folks, we've told you about this in the past. Now we are here at the fruition point. Both sides are unable to agree on a price for Hulu. Comcast wants more, and Disney wants to stick closer to the original valuation. In an SEC filing last year, Disney disclosed that the companies will both hire outside investment banking firms to come up with a sale price. If the two valuations are not within 10% of each other, the two firms will then select a third firm to determine its own figure. That has been selected already. The ultimate sale price will come from an average of the two estimates that are closest in value to each other. Now, what we have heard is that Comcast is wanting somewhere between $40 and $50 billion as the total valuation of Hulu, and it might actually be closer to 50. So Disney now is in a real bind here in a year that they can't handle binds. Tom, what's your take on yet another disaster for streaming, especially for Disney?
I'm sure they're like, could we offer you Fox? Like,
oh, that's good.
Oh, wow. Like, this is funny because we kind of predicted this. We all said this was going to happen because we thought it was hilarious that Disney just assumed that a measly $8 billion they said they paid them.
8.61.
Right.
Yeah, like that was going to be what Hulu was worth. We all knew, like, look, are these streaming services the end all be all? No. But if any of them are worth anything, it's like, yeah, what? Netflix is the BMW, so that would make Hulu what, the Cadillac of these at this point? Like, those were the first two to the block.
The only successful streaming service right now that has an ad-based model. I mean, they are the crown jewel of streaming right now, in my opinion. Well, I've done a lot of research and I've focused on it too much, but I really got to say, Hulu is where it's at, and Disney is lucky that they haven't had full control.
Well, the reason they have such a huge base, or at least so much support, or were popular from the beginning, is they were the answer to your VCR and your, digital recorder or what have you, because not many people invested in DVD recorders, and time shifting became a problem when people phased out the VHS. Yeah, a lot of cable and satellite companies had, HD recorders built in, but after a while people would fill those up and you didn't have room for anything anymore. So what was Hulu? Well, Hulu was your way of time shifting the shows the next day. And most people got it for that specific reason, because they knew the next day after these shows were on, they would be on Hulu. And I think 90% of the networks were on there. I think there was only one network that was outstanding, and I can't even remember which one it was at this point. It basically wasn't posting their stuff the next day on Hulu. So, yeah. That's how they gained so much momentum to begin with, plus being the first ad-based model.
And you could even say that the 2008 writer's strike happened because of Hulu, because BJ Novak had a moment on the lines where he talked about how everyone that told him about watching The Office was talking about how they were watching it on a streaming service and not on broadcast television. And at the time, Hulu Plus, which was their paid model at that point, instead of their ads, maybe there was a little bit of a payment there. By the way, Plus as in PLUS, not plus as in the sign. So they were ahead of the time there. But Hulu might have been the entire reason for the 2008 writer's strike.
Well, I know they single-handedly kept the CW alive for that long, because it got to the point where a lot of these shows where half their audience were watching them the next day on Hulu. They started saying, well, yeah, they had X amount watching live, and then they'd go to the numbers for the next day on streaming. And we're getting to a point where half of the audience was watching it off the air. And once you get to that point, it's like, yeah, I can see why some of these companies would take a look at that and go, yeah, streaming's the future. But it's only the future if you only have a Netflix and a Hulu to kind of, basically be the main ones, and Amazon Prime to kind of compete with Netflix in a way. Once you get past that, there's no reason to have any more of these, because they're not going to make any money on them. That's why they made so much money to begin with. And I know we're repeating history here, but again, that just the whole point of what we're getting to is this is where I think the hubris of Disney was to think that they could get out of this deal with just a measly $8 billion. And at the end of the day, the stupidity of the whole thing is they should have shut down Disney Plus and just kind of put it into Hulu.
Yes.
I don't think that they ever actually believed they could get out on $8 billion. I think that was a lie. That's my
just
opinion.
For the media. And I thought that, I get what
you're
saying.
And
I think they were thinking that was about half of it, but I don't think they're realizing how much Hulu is worth at the end of the day. Because they're going to sit there and argue, we're not making any money on the streaming. How are they? Well, they're making it because they were the first ones to the block.
But guys, think about this. Disney could be on the hook for huge amounts of money beyond that $8 billion for a service that basically only exists in North America and that they plan to kill. They're paying for a service they plan to integrate into Disney Plus and kill the service.
They really aren't good at business when it comes down to it.
No.
And for those of you who don't understand what Pro just said, and I'll try to say it quickly, everything outside of the United States, because Hulu was a joint venture between Fox and ABC and NBC, and there was that little 10% that was held by Warner Brothers for a little while when they were Time Warner. They decided not to expand it internationally by the time Disney had control of it in order to avoid having to pay more money for it down the line. Of course, that went to arbitration, and this is going to go to arbitration. Well, it is in arbitration right now. They've put in another multi-billion-dollar investment firm to try to investment bank to try to figure out the valuation here. I think this thing is going to go to court over all of the Disney trying to squeeze money out of Hulu is, first of all, going to be the thing that kills Hulu. And second of all, it's going to cause a massive legal battle between NBC and Walt Disney over this. And you hate to see it, I say, with full sarcasm here. But they've earned this.
Jonas, you're such a Debbie Downer. Don't you know how this is going to get resolved? They're going to sweeten the deal by saying, and a log flume ride to be named later.
Well, Chris, could you put the bow on this topic and then tell the folks out there where they can find you and what it is that you're bringing to the table that folks out there really need to be paying attention to?
Well, it's not too much unlike what you guys, what they do over at That Park Place. John Trent's a good friend of mine, but we're sort of Bleeding Fool. We are maybe the American thinker of the right side of entertainment, geek entertainment, nerd entertainment, movies, TV, and whatnot. Bleedingfool.com started as a lark, really just to kind of thumb our nose at Bleeding Cool, the UK entertainment website. But we're having fun, and we try and signal boost guys like you and Valiant Renegade, Midnight's Edge, and others, just so more people hear the reasonable side of what's going on without all the fluff and the pixie dust that it just seems all these other websites are putting on all this terrible news in the entertainment industry. I'm glad to see what Forbes does Usually they're pretty dependable when it comes to propping up Lucasfilm and Disney, but Carolyn's doing a great job too. So thanks for having me on today, guys.
And we have come to the end. Wrap it. Put a bow on it. It's over. Folks, it's a video of excellence, and we think it's excellent because you were here. Like, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to the algorithms, hit the notification bell, drop a comment right on down below and let us know your thoughts. And folks, on the way out the door, remember this. Take hold of it. Live it out. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.